22 weeks of Madiera, and beaming in from Rome and this really neat little community athletics track that's just free and open for anyone to use here in the north of the city. I actually came out here to the Stadio dei Marmi, which is a 1928 marble athletic stadium, part of the Olympic complex here in Rome, which is featured in a few Instagram videos by some elite sprinters, including at Crazy Long Jumper, the Olympic champion. So I really wanted to come out here and get a run in while away on holiday. Originally this week was potentially built to be a warm weather training week, and we've kind of downscaled some things and used as a deload week. So we came out here and did some tempo runs. So tempo runs it's not a computer game where you collect gold coins in a jungle environment. It's when you essentially run at a kind of slower pace but with good form and the same sort of distances, and that's what I was doing. 400, 300, 200, and apparently it helps you go faster and it can be built into the programme as part of as part of deloading and things. So I'll put a link to that training principle in the diary notes. And yeah, just really interesting comparing this to maybe 10 years ago when I was training. I would have never have come out to the track and done something so simple as that. It was all or nothing, and I think I was just oscillating between exhaustion and laziness, and this is really really an indication of where I'm at with my training right now. The patience, the calculation, kind of programming and things. So yeah, I'll post a wee bit more of an update, but wanted to just show this place, and yeah, just a really good part of the journey. Managing to claim some training. I managed to do upper body power workout with bands yesterday as well, which was that yesterday? Yes, and again just showed a bit of flexibility. Brought some bands with me on holiday and got a really good workout in, and it just shows the utility of these post-competition weeks, or maybe even pre-competition weeks, where you're not going to be doing as much. You can still do a lot while on the road, and as we're going through the summer, we're going to have many of these weeks either before or after a competition, and I really need to be able to make the most of these and bring along some bands and do some deload stuff. So body's feeling good, and catch up in a bit. 22 weeks to Madiera, so we are still on track for our first decathlon. We're in a bit of a race against time here, and I've got a bit of a training update from tonight, competition update for the weekend, and the long-awaited overview of my training programming for the next 2 months. So we've split up the year, the first 3 months, the second 3 months, and you'd think we're going to do 2 more 3 months blocks to get the 12, but actually we're going to do 2 months and then another 2 months, and then we're going to have this kind of final block together. So tonight we managed to get back on the track. We really had a bit of a layoff and deload for about 10 days. Obviously I was playing in a football tournament about 10 days ago. I'm still a wee bit sore in the ankle from that, so it was a victory that I didn't injure myself in that football tournament, given the strength and power that I've developed and the relative lack of footballing injury proofing, but that was good. So again, deload's kind of finished, and we're out again training tonight. Really difficult at the moment because I'm trying to finish this powerlifting phase, and essentially it's just a bit too demanding on the body. I'm just really tired from some heavy deadlifting I was doing on Saturday morning, and it's now Tuesday. I had 2 really long operations that we're doing in the operating theatre today. Just really exhausted from that, so I came home and slept for 45 minutes before going out. So we'll see if I actually manage to get to sleep tonight, given the late nap. I am on call tonight as well for the hospital, so hopefully I'll still get some fairly good sleep. So yeah, let's start talking about the 2 months, and then that'll bring me into the competition and training tonight. So for this 2-month block, this is the beginning of May, and we're going to go between now and the beginning of July. So June and then July is 2 months. How that's going to be structured is a 6-week training block, preceded by this habituation phase. So the habituation is just going to get me, it's going to be 2 weeks. I'm going to do about 60 to 70% of the decathlon in competition over that time, and the other ones I'm going to do in training. And it's just going to be a trial run of a bit of rest, a week's rest and 2 weeks of training, and some competition to see what it's like putting that all together. So for each, I'm going to do more than one 6-week block over the summer, and in those 6 weeks blocks I'm going to be doing 2 weeks of training and 1 week of rest, or one deload week. So this is kind of a 3-week almost like a 3-week trial run of that I can then duplicate. So so in the 6-week block, we're going to break it down with two 2-week training blocks, and each of these 2-week training blocks I'm going to train everything in the decathlon. So I'm going to try and get everything I need to do in those 2 weeks. It's really just going to be touching on each of them, moving them forward, and then that's going to be preceded by a deload week, or kind of recovery week, and then preceded by again a deload recovery week. So in the recovery weeks I'm going to add in some tempo runs. I'm still going to do some technical work on, say, maybe discus or javelin, and or shot, for instance, and it just allows me to do 2 full training sessions on each area of the decathlon, and then go and compete again. So there's not a huge amount of training that I'm able to do before each competition. I genuinely think I'm in such an early stage that every competition is going to be a PB for most of these. And there's just so much to learn about competing, and there's so much just improvement that comes with the general fitness, that I think that's a worthwhile thing to do. And in the decathlon, my aim for each of these 6-week blocks is to go up 50 points in each event every single time, which is not a lot. You have these 50 tables where it shows you the mark, the speed or the height or the distance that you need to get to go up every 50 points. So I'm just going to try and move 1 notch across the board. If I can do that in a decathlon, it's going to move me up 500 points a piece. If I'm saying I'm at 4,000 now, then I'm going to be aiming for 4,500 in my first meet in July. Then I'm going to be aiming for 5,000 at the next one, potentially. But I'm not going to get too much into that until I've done my first one. But that's the aim, is to do a full decathlon and to get 4,500 points. It's an audacious aim. That would be an NCAA Division 2/3 squad mark that would allow you to compete for one of those universities. So pretty ambitious, but I think it's achievable. So that just brings me back to tonight. So yeah, if I'm trying to get everything done in 2 weeks, how's that going to work out? Well, I'm going to try and do something more metabolic and something more technical in every session. I'll have a Tuesday and a Thursday session, or a Tuesday and a Saturday session. So 2 athletic sessions per week, so that's 8 over the fortnight. That'll allow me to do all the technical events. So the technical ones are hurdles, pole vault, long jump, high jump, discus, javelin, and shot. That allows me to shot, and then that just allows me to the 7 of those, and then I'll try and pair that 7 with some actual more metabolically demanding training, such as fast sprints. Maybe the 8th one could actually be block work, but I'll actually pair that with either some tempo runs or some fast sprints or some lactate sessions. So I'm working the brain and the brain and the nerves, and I'm also working the muscles and the metabolism. But yeah, it just helps me space out some of the more difficult things, and then again each week I'm hoping to do yeah, at least one or sorry, I'm hoping to do 1.5 gym sessions per week as well. So that's going to be 3 every 6 every 6 week block. I should hopefully get maybe about 4 of those. I'm still working out exactly how many gym sessions I'm going to do, but I've got a block of, yeah, 3 times 3 is 9, so I've got 2 blocks of 9 workouts that I'm hoping to do between now and Madiera. So 18 workouts. So the average is 1.5 per week. So some weeks that might be 2, some weeks that might just be 1. We'll see if that's too ambitious. But we've had to essentially finish this powerlifting program early, and at this point it's time to just jump 2 feet into the decathlon and not retest our 1 rep max. If there's a bit of a lull at some point, I might retest the 1 rep max as well. But as well as that, as well as these 6-week blocks, I'm also going to have to plan in some holiday time. So I've got some time in August. So after my first decathlon in July, I hope to just replicate that 6-week block exactly again, to then mid-August do a second decathlon. And after that I'm going to take a bit of a break and go away on holiday and take a couple of weeks off, and then come back for one last month, which won't be a full 6-week block. It'll be a deload fortnight, deload before Madiera. So that's what we're doing. This really requires a lot of trust in the process, and it really requires letting go some of my desire to train hard and run really fast. I know I can do 2 hard sprint sessions a week. I know I can run under 12 seconds in the 100 meters and under 24 in the 200 meters, and I'm just gonna have to let some of that go. So that's just what you have to pay in order to get where I want to go. And at this point, I think it really is a case of focus on the decathlon and really have a chance of meeting this goal of being a national level athlete, or just focus on the sprints and enjoy it for what it is, but not really be competing at more than a regional level. Unless I was to perhaps leave my job or go part-time or something. Yeah, so a lot of flexibility is required. Something that's really helpful is tonight just the flexibility of the athletics team. I slept in, turned up late, 6:30, and just jumped in, got involved in some throwing, and there was that flexibility there. Spoke to coach as well, and he put me down for 100, 200 and 400, and at the next weekend I just said, look, I can't do that, here's what I can do. So I've given a bit of flexibility and a bit of willingness to do what needs done. So this weekend that's going to involve going in the relay, and actually I didn't mention this, but it's actually going to involve me throwing the hammer as well. I did a couple of hammer throws tonight. Really nice to do something different. Didn't take up too much time. I think I can get a legal throw at the weekend and get some points for the team, and so much the better. So this week we are going to do discus, we're going to do 400 meters, we're going to do pole vault, and we're also going to do the relay as well. So and the hammer, but we're going to do the relay at the end. So I said I wouldn't do more than 4 events. I'm doing 4, but 2 of them are quite not metabolically demanding. It's not like last time I was doing the 1, the 2, and the hurdles. So that's going to be quite good this weekend, and then next time around the following week I'm planning to run a 1500 and do a discus and do a long jump then as well. And I think that'll be me for this habituation phase, where I'm just going to go out there and just do it, just get some marks and get some extra competition in me before I settle in for the ride for the decathlon. So that's me, 12.5 minutes. I've already spoke enough. Time to get back to it, and we'll touch base at the end of the week after we've competed.